The past has a way of whispering to us through the corridors of time. Even when we cannot see it clearly, it calls softly from the shadows, inviting us to pause, to listen, and to imagine. In the quiet of the night, when the world slows and the mind drifts toward reflection, these whispers become almost audible. They are the faint echoes of civilizations long vanished, of knowledge that was once vibrant and alive, now hidden beneath layers of dust, soil, and forgetfulness. It is here, in this liminal space between sleep and wakefulness, that we begin our journey into the lost secrets of humanity, secrets that could, if fully understood, reshape the story we tell about ourselves. History, as it is often presented, is neat and orderly. Dates, names, and events line up in tidy rows like the shelves of a library. Yet, beneath this surface, beneath the pages of textbooks and the familiar narratives of museums, there exists a quieter, more enigmatic history. It is a history punctuated by sudden disappearances, by inventions that seem far ahead of their time, by ruins whose purposes we can only guess at. This is the history of shadows, the history of what we have forgotten, and perhaps what we were never meant to fully know. Tonight, we will walk through this hidden realm, letting curiosity guide us and wonder keep us company. Imagine standing before a structure built thousands of years ago, its stones arranged with such precision that even modern engineers struggle to replicate it. Feel the weight of time pressing gently on your senses as you trace the contours of ancient carvings, worn smooth by the passage of countless generations. Consider the hands that shaped these stones, the minds that conceive these designs, and the knowledge that has quietly slipped from our grasp. There is a subtle magic in contemplating such mysteries, a recognition that human ingenuity has always been capable of wonders that defy expectation. But not all secrets are so tangible. Some are written, only to vanish before they can be understood. Libraries have burned, scrolls have disintegrated, and tablets have crumbled into dust. Some messages were deliberately hidden, encoded in ways that challenge even the most patient of scholars. These lost writings speak to a time when knowledge was precious, when it was preserved with great care and, sometimes, great secrecy. To consider what might have been recorded and then lost is to open a door into a parallel world of understanding, one that brushes against the edges of what we know about ourselves and our past. As we move further into this exploration, it is important to hold both the known and the unknown in gentle tension. Facts anchor us, providing a firm ground upon which to walk. Mystery lifts us, allowing the mind to drift, to imagine, to consider possibilities beyond what has been recorded. Together, they create a rhythm, a pulse that carries us through the story of lost ancient knowledge. In this rhythm, there is comfort. In this rhythm, there is curiosity. And in this rhythm, there is a quiet invitation to journey deeper. Throughout the world, civilizations have risen and fallen, each leaving traces of its existence, some loud and clear, others subtle and elusive. The ruins of great cities lie buried beneath forests, deserts, and oceans. Artifacts, often small and seemingly insignificant, hint at advanced understanding of engineering, astronomy, and even medicine. These remnants, scattered and incomplete, form a mosaic of human ingenuity, revealing glimpses of what was possible long before our modern era. Yet, it is precisely in their incompleteness that they fascinate us most. They remind us that history is not just a record of what has happened. It is also a canvas for what might have been. This documentary will not only take you through the physical traces of lost civilizations, but will also explore the ideas and knowledge that may have been hidden or forgotten. We will consider the wisdom preserved in enigmatic texts, the precision of monuments aligned with the stars, and the ingenious technologies that challenge our assumptions about the past. And through it all, we will do so slowly, letting each revelation settle, each mystery linger, until it becomes part of the quiet tapestry of understanding that night allows us to weave. So, as you settle into a space of calm reflection, Allow yourself to be drawn into the world of lost ancient secrets. There is no rush, no urgency, only the gentle unfolding of history's quieter side. In the coming hours, we will explore civilizations that once thrived, technologies that astonish, and mysteries that endure. We will consider the contrast between what we know and what has been hidden, between the brilliance of human achievement and the shadows of oblivion. And perhaps, as the night deepens, you will find that these whispers from the past have something to say not only about history, but about ourselves and about the endless possibilities that lie just beyond the veil of time. For as long as humans have walked the earth, we have been drawn to what has been lost. There is a quiet fascination in uncovering secrets buried by time, in seeking the knowledge that vanished from memory or was deliberately hidden. Perhaps it is because we sense that within these lost fragments lies a deeper understanding of the world, of ourselves, or of our place in the vast tapestry of existence. Legends speak of hidden libraries, of scrolls that contained wisdom capable of shaping civilizations, of knowledge so profound that it could alter the course of history. And though many of these stories are shrouded in myth, their allure remains undeniable. The Library of Alexandria is perhaps the most evocative symbol of this lost knowledge. Once the crown jewel of human intellect, it is said to have held countless scrolls and manuscripts, each a repository of the world's accumulated wisdom. Scholars from distant lands traveled for months or years just to gaze upon its contents. And yet, we know that much of it vanished in a series of fires and acts of destruction, leaving only fragments behind. What ideas were lost forever? What discoveries never saw the light of day? These questions linger like soft echoes in the corridors of imagination, inviting us to fill in the gaps with both evidence and speculation. The fascination with lost knowledge is not limited to grand libraries or monumental collections. It can be found in small, almost invisible traces, a single scroll buried beneath the sands of an ancient city, inscriptions etched into stone that resist interpretation, or manuscripts hidden behind locked doors in monasteries and private collections. Each fragment holds the potential to challenge everything we think we know about the past. The more elusive the knowledge, the more compelling its pull. We are drawn to mysteries because they suggest a world beyond the immediately visible, a layer of reality that has been concealed by time and circumstance. Legends of secret wisdom also abound across cultures. Ancient India spoke of texts containing advanced mathematics, medicine, and metaphysics, some of which were kept hidden for centuries. In Egypt, certain knowledge was reserved for priests and initiates, encoded in hieroglyphs whose meanings only the initiated could fully grasp. Across the Americas, Mesoamerican civilizations left behind codices that hint at profound astronomical and calendrical knowledge. And in remote parts of Asia, teachings were whispered from master to disciple, their full depth known only to a chosen few. Across all these stories, a pattern emerges. Knowledge was treated as precious, almost sacred, and its loss or concealment leaves a subtle, persistent void. Part of the allure of forgotten knowledge lies in what it tells us about human curiosity itself. We are compelled to explore not just what is visible, but what is hidden, what has slipped through the cracks of history. There is a tension between the known and the unknown, between the recorded past and the shadows that lie just beyond our reach. This tension gives our quest a quiet drama. Each artifact uncovered, each manuscript decoded, becomes a moment of revelation, a gentle lifting of the veil. And yet, the greatest appeal may not be in the answers themselves, but in the pursuit, the slow, meditative process of uncovering, pondering, and imagining. Some lost knowledge may have been suppressed intentionally. History is filled with accounts of rulers, empires, or religious institutions that controlled the flow of information, keeping certain truths from the general population. Scientific insights, philosophical treatises, and technological innovations could be hoarded, hidden, or destroyed when they were deemed too dangerous or subversive. In this light, the allure of lost knowledge becomes even more compelling. It is not merely absent due to the passage of time, but because it was actively removed from the collective memory. To uncover it is, in a sense, to reclaim a fragment of human potential. Yet, even in cases where knowledge vanished naturally through disaster, decay, or neglect, the sense of longing remains. Ancient civilizations often created incredible feats of art, architecture, and engineering, leaving behind signs of advanced understanding that we struggle to replicate today. We marvel at the precision of stonework, the alignment of monuments with celestial bodies, and the engineering of aqueducts and roads that endured for millennia. Each surviving piece suggests an entire body of knowledge that may have existed once and has now been obscured by time. And this sense of what has been lost, contrasted with what remains, stirs a quiet, reflective curiosity. In contemplating forgotten knowledge, we also confront the fragility of human memory. Civilizations rise and fall, records are destroyed, and wisdom can disappear within a single generation. And yet, there is a resilience to human curiosity that persists across centuries. Even fragments of knowledge, once uncovered, inspire new inquiry and imagination. They remind us that the pursuit of understanding is eternal, that the human mind is drawn to questions that stretch beyond what is immediately known. In the silence of lost civilizations, there's an invitation to wonder, to explore, and to imagine what could have been. As we prepare to move deeper into our journey, it is important to hold both fascination and humility in equal measure. The lost secrets of ancient civilizations are not merely puzzles to be solved. They are windows into ways of thinking, seeing, and being that we may not yet fully comprehend. They challenge our assumptions and expand the boundaries of what we consider possible. And in the quiet of the night, as we listen with patience and openness, these whispers from the past begin to form a narrative that is as much about human imagination and resilience as it is about what was physically preserved or destroyed. Tonight, as we explore these ancient secrets, let us remain receptive to both wonder and mystery. The allure of forgotten knowledge is not in certainty or finality, but in the gentle unfolding of possibility. Each story, each fragment, and each enigma invites us to look beyond the obvious, to peer into the shadows of history with calm curiosity. We move forward, step by step, aware that much remains hidden, yet grateful for what has survived to illuminate the night. And in this delicate balance of known and unknown, we begin to glimpse the true enchantment of human history. The endless dialogue between what is remembered and what has been lost, between fact and the soft, enduring whisper of mystery. Long before the hum of modern machinery and the glow of electric light, humans achieved wonders that continue to astonish us today. Across continents and centuries, civilizations developed technologies that seem almost impossible for their time. From colossal stone structures to intricate tools and devices, the ingenuity of ancient people reveals a depth of knowledge that challenges our understanding of history. There's a quiet marvel in considering that these feats were accomplished without modern engines, electronics, or even written instruction as we know it. Each stone, each mechanism, each perfectly aligned structure whispers of intelligence, patience, and creativity far ahead of its era. Take, for instance, the Great Pyramids of Egypt. Towering above the desert sands, they embody an engineering precision that has perplexed scholars for generations. The blocks of stone, some weighing several tons, were cut, transported, and positioned with a level of accuracy that modern engineers still study with admiration. The alignment of the pyramids with celestial bodies suggests a sophisticated understanding of astronomy, linking earthly structures to the rhythms of the heavens. Even today, the exact methods used to construct these monumental tombs remain a subject of debate, a testament to human ingenuity that transcends time. Across the world, similar marvels appear in the most unexpected places. Stonehenge in England, with its towering sarsen stones and precise alignments to the solstices, reveals knowledge of astronomy, geometry, and ceremonial purpose. The builders of Machu Picchu in the Andes carved terraces and stone structures with such precision that they have withstood centuries of earthquakes. In South America, the megalithic walls of Sacsayhuaman feature stones cut and fitted together with extraordinary exactness, some so heavy that moving them would challenge modern machinery. Across continents, from Asia to the Mediterranean, we find echoes of the same question. How did ancient civilizations achieve so much with seemingly limited tools? It is not only monumental architecture that astonishes. Many ancient societies developed technologies for daily life that demonstrate remarkable sophistication. In ancient Mesopotamia, for instance, irrigation systems allowed crops to flourish in harsh environments, demonstrating both engineering skill and a nuanced understanding of water management. The ancient city of Mohenjo-daro, part of the Indus Valley Civilization, featured sophisticated drainage and sanitation systems long before such infrastructure became common elsewhere. Even in medicine, tools and techniques, like trepanation, the careful removal of a portion of the skull, show an advanced understanding of human anatomy and healing. These examples remind us that ancient technologies were not isolated curiosities. They were part of fully functioning, complex societies. Then there are devices that seem almost magical in their ingenuity. The Antikythera mechanism, discovered in a shipwreck off the coast of Greece, is often called the world's first analog computer. Crafted more than 2,000 years ago, it was capable of predicting astronomical positions, eclipses, and even the timing of athletic games. Its precision and complexity were not matched in Europe until many centuries later, raising questions about the technological capabilities of the civilizations that produced it. Holding such a device in one's imagination, one feels a connection to minds that thought deeply about the universe and its patterns, minds that, for reasons lost to time, vanished into obscurity. Many ancient technologies also suggest knowledge that blends practicality with spiritual or symbolic significance. Consider the astronomical alignments of temples and observatories, the precise mapping of stars and carvings, or the geometrical patterns found in sacred spaces across the globe. These were not merely functional. They were expressions of a worldview in which science, art, and spirituality were intertwined. Knowledge was encoded not only in tools and machines, but in the very spaces that humans inhabited, spaces designed to reflect a cosmic order. In studying these constructions, we glimpse a worldview that sees humanity as part of a larger rhythm, a perspective that invites quiet contemplation. Yet, much of this knowledge seems to have been lost or forgotten. Techniques for moving massive stones, precise formulas for construction, and advanced engineering methods are often mysteries, passed down imperfectly or vanishing entirely with the civilizations that created them. There's a sense of poignancy in realizing how much human ingenuity has been obscured by time, natural disasters, or societal collapse. And yet, these glimpses of lost skill continue to inspire. They suggest that history is not linear, that knowledge is not always cumulative, and that some discoveries may have been made, forgotten, and rediscovered across generations. As we consider these ancient technologies, it is important to allow ourselves a sense of wonder without rushing to judgment. Some might speculate about lost civilizations with extraordinary capabilities or even influences beyond Earth, while others seek explanations rooted in human creativity and trial and error. Both perspectives reflect our desire to understand, to make sense of the extraordinary. The key is to remain open to the possibilities while appreciating the tangible evidence left behind, the silent monuments, and the ingenious tools that speak of human brilliance. These technologies also serve as bridges between the distant past and our present. In examining ancient aqueducts, stone fortresses, and mechanical devices, we see the foundations of later scientific advancements. The knowledge embedded in these creations informs our understanding of engineering, astronomy, and mathematics today, reminding us that human innovation is an ongoing continuum. There's a rhythm to this continuum, a flow of ideas that connects civilizations across time, even when the direct line of transmission is lost. Each discovery we make offers not only answers, but also new questions, inviting us to peer deeper into the shadows of history. Ultimately, the story of ancient technologies is a story of human curiosity and determination. It is a testament to the capacity of people to shape their environment, to understand the world around them, and to leave behind enduring legacies of skill and insight. In exploring these achievements, we are invited into a reflective state, considering what humans have accomplished and what remains hidden. The quiet power of these technologies lies not only in their physical form, but in the imagination they ignite, the sense that the past is alive with possibility, that every stone, tool, and mechanism carries a message across the ages. As we prepare to transition to the next chapter of our journey, we leave behind the concrete wonders of ancient ingenuity and move toward the spaces in between, the shadows, the lost texts, the unrecorded knowledge that exists just beyond our grasp. Here, the allure of what might have been becomes even more compelling, inviting us to consider not just what ancient civilizations built, but what they thought, what they dreamed, and what wisdom has quietly slipped through the cracks of time. In this space between marvel and mystery, we begin to feel the full weight of history's enigmas, ready to step further into the unknown. Between the brilliance of ancient achievements and the clarity of recorded history lies a quieter realm, a place where shadows stretch long, where knowledge has slipped through the cracks, and where mysteries linger, unclaimed by the pages of our textbooks. These are the spaces between eras, moments when civilizations flourished, only to leave behind fragments that tease rather than explain. It is here, in this gentle twilight of history, that curiosity deepens and the mind begins to wander. The shadows between eras invite us to pause, to consider what was once known but is now only hinted at, and to appreciate the fragility and impermanence of human memory. Time has a way of erasing more than it preserves. Entire cities, once teeming with life, have been swallowed by deserts, forests, and oceans. Libraries and archives have fallen to fire, flood, or neglect. Artifacts have crumbled or been scattered across continents. And yet, even in this loss, there are traces, faint, almost imperceptible, that speak across centuries. A fragment of pottery, a faded inscription, a ruin half buried in sand. These fragments carry whispers of knowledge and understanding, and in their quiet presence, they demand reflection. They remind us that history is not only what is recorded, but also what endures in shadow, waiting for patient observation to reveal its significance. These shadows are not merely absences, they are invitations. They encourage us to question assumptions, to think beyond conventional narratives, and to imagine the depth of human ingenuity and experience that may have been lost. They exist at the intersection of fact and speculation, urging us to explore the boundaries of what is known. In the stillness of night, when the world slows and thought can drift unhurried, these in-between moments of history feel almost tangible. They remind us that history is not a straight line, but a tapestry woven of visible and hidden threads, each adding depth and richness to the picture of humanity. The very concept of these shadows carries a duality: loss and possibility, absence and potential. In the spaces between eras, civilizations may have possessed knowledge far surpassing what we assumed they could achieve. Technologies, philosophies, and arts could have been practiced and perfected, only to vanish with the collapse of the culture that nurtured them. At the same time, these gaps spark imagination. What was once real, but is now obscured, challenges us to envision alternative histories and to consider the human history may be far more intricate than our current understanding allows. The contrast between what we know and what we can only infer creates a quiet tension that both comforts and intrigues. In exploring these shadows, one begins to see patterns that span continents and epochs. Civilizations separated by oceans and mountains often developed similar technologies, architectural principles, or cosmological ideas, suggesting that human creativity has rhythms and echoes that transcend geography. When we notice these parallels, the shadows become less like empty voids and more like threads connecting distant moments in time. They hint at shared human curiosity, a universal striving toward understanding, and perhaps even a collective knowledge that has been partially lost but never entirely extinguished. Yet, the shadows also carry a reminder of humility. Not all mysteries will be solved, and some knowledge may remain forever beyond reach. The erosion of time, the impermanence of material records, and the selective nature of memory mean that what we uncover will always be partial. And this is precisely what makes the shadows compelling. They are a space of wonder rather than certainty. They invite us to linger, to reflect, and to accept that some questions may remain unanswered, allowing the mind to drift in quiet contemplation. In this gentle tension between curiosity and limitation, history becomes less about definitive facts and more about the experience of discovery itself. As we prepare to step forward from these shadows into the next chapter of our exploration, it is important to carry their lessons with us. The gaps and mysteries of the past are not obstacles, but guides, pointing toward what remains to be discovered, imagined, or understood. They serve as a bridge, connecting the brilliance of known civilizations with the enigmatic knowledge that has eluded us. In the stillness of these moments, we cultivate patience, awareness, and a sense of reverence for the vastness of human history, qualities that will guide us as we delve deeper into the secrets that may forever change our understanding of who we are. Long before the maps we study in schools existed, vast civilizations rose and fell, leaving behind traces that tantalize, confuse, and inspire us. These societies flourished in places that are now deserts, jungles, or oceans, their existence hinted at through fragments of architecture, inscriptions, and artifacts that refuse easy interpretation. There is a quiet awe in considering that entire ways of life, complex, sophisticated, and vibrant, could disappear almost entirely, leaving behind only whispers of their former presence. These lost civilizations challenge our understanding of history, asking us to reconsider what we think we know and to peer gently into the spaces where certainty fades into speculation. The Indus Valley Civilization, which thrived over 4,000 years ago in what is now Pakistan and northwest India, is one of the most enigmatic examples. Cities like Mohenjo-daro and Harappa reveal remarkable urban planning, with streets laid out in precise grids, advanced drainage systems, and buildings constructed from uniform bricks. The sophistication of their water management suggests not only practical engineering knowledge, but also a keen understanding of environmental stewardship. Yet, despite these achievements, their writing system remains largely undeciphered. What they believed, how they governed, and what led to their sudden decline remain mysteries, leaving us with tantalizing clues, but no complete picture. Farther to the east, the civilization of ancient China offers glimpses of an equally intricate but differently mysterious past. Long before the first empires recorded history in the ways we recognize, early Chinese dynasties developed bronze casting techniques, complex ritual systems, and astronomical observations of extraordinary precision. Oracle bones, inscribed with early characters, hint at divination practices and societal concerns. Yet much about these ancient people's daily lives, philosophies, and scientific knowledge remains obscure. The interplay between what is known and unknown in early China exemplifies the tension that runs through all lost civilizations, the certainty of tangible achievement paired with the opacity of lived experience. In the Americas, civilizations such as the Olmec, Maya, and later the Inca challenge our assumptions about ancient ingenuity. The Olmec, often called the mother culture of Mesoamerica, left behind colossal stone heads, intricate jade carvings, and early ritual complexes, yet little is known about their political structure or the full scope of their influence. The Maya, famous for their astronomical knowledge and calendar systems, provide another example. Their written records, though extensive, only give fragments of a civilization that achieved feats of mathematics, architecture, and cultural sophistication unmatched in much of the contemporary world. The Inca, stretching along the Andes, built a vast network of roads and terraces, integrating engineering, agriculture, and administration in a way that seems almost modern in its efficiency. Each of these civilizations speaks to the human capacity for innovation, organization, and understanding, yet the shadows of their mysteries remain compellingly intact. Even in Europe and the Mediterranean, the traces of lost societies evoke wonder. The Minoans of Crete, for example, thrived in the Bronze Age, establishing a culture known for intricate palaces, vibrant frescoes, and complex trade networks. Yet, much about their society, its language, the full meaning of its art, and the reasons for its sudden decline, remains elusive. Similarly, the Etruscans of Italy influenced Roman civilization profoundly, yet their language and certain cultural practices remain partially undeciphered. In these cases, the civilizations are not entirely forgotten, yet they exist in a liminal space where curiosity must fill in what time and circumstance have erased. What makes these lost civilizations particularly fascinating is the sense that their disappearance was not total, that fragments of knowledge, culture, and technology have subtly influenced later societies. Consider, for instance, the engineering feats of the Indus Valley or the astronomical observations of the Maya. These achievements suggest that knowledge can be preserved indirectly through cultural transmission, even when the original society vanishes. In this light, lost civilizations are not merely historical curiosities. They are touchstones, connecting past ingenuity with the evolution of human thought. They remind us that history is layered, that progress is rarely linear, and that wisdom can persist in shadow as much as in written record. There is also a quiet poetry in the mystery itself. We often seek explanations, wars, climate change, disease, but part of the allure of lost civilizations is the acknowledgement that some answers may remain forever just out of reach. Their disappearance invites reflection on the fragility of human achievement and the impermanence of culture. Entire cities, thriving populations, and sophisticated knowledge can vanish, leaving nothing more than stones, ceramics, and a faint imprint of human endeavor. In contemplating these vanished worlds, we develop a profound appreciation for both the resilience and vulnerability of human civilization, recognizing that history is both enduring and ephemeral. Many of these civilizations also defy conventional expectations of technological or social development. Structures like the pyramids of Mesoamerica, the terraced hillsides of the Andes, or the precise urban planning of Mohenjo-daro suggest advanced understanding that seems ahead of its time. Tools, techniques, and knowledge often appear sophisticated in ways that do not align neatly with the timeline of mainstream historical narratives. This tension between the expected and the observed creates a compelling sense of mystery. Civilizations that achieved remarkable feats, yet whose stories are partially obscured, hint at a world where human ingenuity might have been more widespread, more complex, and more interconnected than we have traditionally imagined. Yet even as we marvel at these achievements, we must also recognize the lessons they offer for our own era. Lost civilizations remind us that knowledge alone does not guarantee survival. Environmental changes, societal pressures, and unforeseen catastrophes can erase even the most advanced societies. Their shadows teach humility and caution, encouraging us to respect the delicate balance between innovation and sustainability. At the same time, they inspire perseverance, showing that the human capacity for creativity, problem-solving, and adaptation has always been extraordinary. In their ruins, we see both the fragility and the enduring spirit of human culture. As we prepare to leave the tangible remnants of these lost civilizations and move toward the more intangible, secret knowledge, esoteric wisdom, and myths that have survived in whispers, we carry with us a sense of wonder and curiosity. The mysteries of these societies remind us that history is not simply a sequence of dates and names, but a living tapestry, rich with achievements, enigmas, and lessons. They invite us to explore, to imagine, and to consider the depths of human potential across time. In the interplay between the known and the unknown, the visible and the vanished, we begin to understand the subtle power of history's lost voices. In contemplating lost civilizations, we are ultimately reminded of the human capacity to dream, to build, and to create meaning. Their monuments, artifacts, and stories, even when fragmented, speak across millennia, calling us to reflect, to wonder, and to explore the boundaries of knowledge. And as we move forward, delving into the more secretive and mystical aspects of ancient wisdom, we carry the echoes of these civilizations with us, their innovations, their mysteries, and their enduring lessons, into the next chapter of our journey through history's hidden corridors. Between the marvels of lost civilizations and the secrets hidden in ancient texts lies a subtle, almost intangible realm, a place where knowledge lingers in echoes, faint and fragile, yet undeniably present. This is the space where human ingenuity whispers across time, carried not in monumental stone or polished metal, but in ideas, symbols, and traditions that survive in fragments. These echoes are reminders that knowledge, once discovered, rarely disappears entirely. It transforms, hides, and sometimes resurfaces in unexpected ways. They invite us to slow down, to listen carefully, and to reflect on the hidden currents of understanding that have shaped human history. Consider, for instance, the fragments of text preserved on clay tablets, papyri, or hidden in obscure archives. Many of these writings speak of practices, observations, or philosophies that seem almost too advanced for their era. Mathematical formulas, astronomical records, medicinal recipes, and ritual instructions survive in incomplete forms, leaving gaps that invite speculation and imagination. The knowledge is there, yet not fully accessible, like a melody half-heard through the walls of time. Engaging with these remnants requires patience, curiosity, and an openness to possibility, qualities that allow the mind to wander into the quiet mysteries they present. These echoes are not confined to text alone. They resonate in oral traditions, myths, and folklore passed down through generations. Stories about gods, heroes, or ancient rulers often contain subtle truths about society, technology, and natural phenomena, encoded in symbolism that only becomes clear under careful observation. Legends of cities swallowed by the sea, advanced tools lost in a single night, or hidden knowledge accessible only to the worthy may seem fantastical, yet they reflect an underlying awareness of human ingenuity and fragility. By listening to these echoes, we gain glimpses of a world where wisdom and imagination were inseparable, where knowledge was preserved not only in material objects but in memory, ritual, and story. The echoes of lost knowledge also appear in surprising technological parallels across distant cultures. For example, similar architectural techniques, agricultural methods, or astronomical observations appear independently in different civilizations, suggesting that knowledge sometimes reemerges in new forms, even when its original source is forgotten. These resonances provoke wonder. Did civilizations share knowledge directly, or did human creativity simply follow similar paths under similar conditions? Either way, the echoes connect the ancient past to a broader, almost universal rhythm of human discovery, emphasizing that ingenuity is not bound by geography or time. There is a quiet beauty in the partial nature of these echoes. Unlike fully preserved artifacts or well-documented history, they demand active engagement. They ask us to imagine, to fill in gaps with reasoned speculation, and to appreciate the delicate balance between what is known and what is unknowable. In this way, echoes of lost knowledge foster a contemplative state, a gentle curiosity that encourages us to slow down and consider the intricacies of human thought. They remind us that history is not merely a record of facts, but a living conversation across time, in which each listener becomes a participant, reconstructing and reimagining meaning. These echoes also carry a profound sense of continuity. Even when civilizations vanish, their ideas can survive indirectly, influencing distant peoples and later generations. Innovations in mathematics, medicine, astronomy, and engineering often reappear, sometimes independently, sometimes as rediscovered knowledge. In these instances, the past is never truly gone. It continues to ripple through time, leaving subtle traces that shape human understanding in ways we are only beginning to perceive. The echoes remind us that knowledge is resilient, often slipping through the cracks of history only to emerge again in forms we might not expect. Yet, there's also a quiet tension inherent in these echoes. They are reminders of what has been lost, of the fragility of human achievement. Entire systems of knowledge, once thriving, may now exist only as hints, faint inscriptions on crumbling stone, partially decoded manuscripts, or oral traditions whose meanings have shifted over time. These absences create a tension between curiosity and humility, prompting reflection on both the brilliance and vulnerability of human civilization. They invite us to honor what has endured and to acknowledge the vast potential that has slipped quietly into the shadows. As we move from the echoes of lost knowledge toward the more mystical and mysterious elements of human history, we carry with us the lessons of patience, attention, and reverence. The whispers of what was known remind us that discovery is not always linear, that understanding may come in fragments, and that the mind must sometimes linger in the spaces between certainty and mystery. In embracing these echoes, we prepare to explore the hidden wisdom, esoteric practices, and secretive knowledge that ancient cultures may have preserved deliberately, safeguarding their insights for those attuned to perceive them. In this quiet in-between, we sense that history is not only a record of events, but a continuum of thought and imagination. The echoes of lost knowledge encourage us to listen with care, to notice subtle connections, and to appreciate the delicate interplay between what humans have achieved and what remains veiled. They invite reflection and contemplation, serving as a bridge between the concrete marvels of the past and the more elusive, spiritual, and enigmatic wisdom that awaits our attention. In this liminal space, curiosity flourishes, and the mind begins to prepare for the deeper mysteries that lie ahead. Throughout human history, texts have served as vessels of knowledge, not merely recording events, but preserving ideas, philosophies, and wisdom that can transcend centuries. Among these writings lie secrets, hidden layers of meaning that may offer insight into the deeper understanding of the universe, consciousness, and the human experience. These texts often blur the line between the tangible and the mystical, balancing practical knowledge with esoteric insights, leaving modern readers both intrigued and contemplative. The words carved, painted, or scribed millennia ago carry a quiet, almost hypnotic resonance, suggesting that some ancient wisdom was intended not for immediate use, but for discovery by those prepared to look deeply, patiently, and thoughtfully. In the civilizations of Mesopotamia, Egypt, and India, for instance, sacred texts reveal sophisticated philosophical and spiritual systems that blend observation, ritual, and metaphysical speculation. Sumerian cuneiform tablets contain hymns, prayers, and astronomical observations, hinting at both their understanding of the cosmos and their desire to harmonize human life with celestial rhythms. Similarly, the Egyptian Book of the Dead, often misinterpreted as merely a guide for the afterlife, contains layers of moral, spiritual, and cosmological instruction. It offers subtle insights into how the Egyptians understood consciousness, ethics, and the cyclical nature of existence. These ancient works invite reflection, encouraging the reader to perceive connections between human behavior, natural law, and the unseen forces that shape reality. In India, the Vedas, Upanishads, and other sacred manuscripts convey intricate systems of knowledge that include philosophy, meditation, and early scientific thought. Embedded within hymns and allegorical stories are concepts of energy, consciousness, and the fundamental structures of existence. These texts suggest that ancient societies were exploring questions not only of survival and governance, but of human potential, cosmic order, and the interplay between matter and spirit. The cryptic nature of some passages may have been deliberate, a way to ensure that wisdom was transmitted only to those capable of deep reflection and understanding. This deliberate concealment adds to the aura of mystery and invites readers to approach the material slowly, attentively, and with respect. Mystical wisdom is also found in the sacred texts of China, such as the doubted Jing and I Ching. Written over 2,000 years ago, these works explore the natural order, cycles of change, and the harmony between humans and the cosmos. Their poetic, often paradoxical language encourages readers to contemplate rather than simply decode, suggesting that understanding is experiential as much as intellectual. These texts hint at patterns of life and energy that may have been known intuitively to ancient peoples, preserved in language that is both precise and open-ended, allowing for reflection that spans generations. The balance of clarity and ambiguity is intentional, providing guidance without imposing rigid definitions, leaving space for discovery, interpretation, and insight. Across the Mediterranean and Middle East, texts such as the Hermetic writings, the Dead Sea Scrolls, and various alchemical manuscripts preserve layers of mystical and philosophical thought. Hermetic works, attributed to the legendary Hermes Trismegistus, explore principles of correspondence between the macrocosm and microcosm, the interrelation of mind and matter, and the pursuit of hidden truths through disciplined study and contemplation. Alchemical texts, often appearing as obscure recipes or coded allegories, speak not only of chemical transformation, but also of the transmutation of the self, a blending of practical and spiritual knowledge that transcends ordinary perception. These writings, like echoes in time, offer glimpses of a worldview in which human understanding, nature, and the cosmos are intricately intertwined. What makes these mystical texts particularly compelling is the balance they maintain between fact and mystery. They offer practical knowledge, mathematics, astronomy, medicinal formulas, while simultaneously pointing to realities that cannot be easily measured or observed. The layering of information, metaphor, and allegory creates an experience of reading that is meditative, even hypnotic, drawing the mind into contemplation. As we approach these texts with a calm, reflective mindset, they unfold not as rigid instruction manuals, but as guides for thought, perception, and spiritual exploration. They invite us to linger in the margins, to notice patterns, and to perceive connections that are not immediately obvious. Many scholars and explorers have noted that ancient texts often encode knowledge in ways that appear intentionally enigmatic. Numerology, symbolism, and repetition are not mere stylistic choices. They serve to preserve information through memory, observation, and layered interpretation. The challenge for modern readers is to engage with the material on its own terms, to honor its rhythm and subtlety, and to recognize that some understanding may emerge only through patient study, reflection, and experiential engagement. In this sense, the texts function as bridges between centuries, between the tangible and intangible, and between the known and the unknowable. They offer not just facts, but a method of perceiving the world in deeper, more connected ways. These writings also hint at knowledge that may have been deliberately concealed from broader populations, perhaps reserved for initiates or those deemed capable of understanding its depth. The deliberate layering of knowledge creates a sense of mystery, yet also emphasizes the care with which ancient wisdom was preserved. It is as if these texts exist as keys, waiting for a mind attuned to subtlety, patience, and curiosity to unlock their secrets. The interplay of revelation and concealment strengthens their allure, inviting us to reflect on what has been lost, what survives, and what might still be rediscovered in hidden corners of libraries, temples, or private collections. As we consider mystical wisdom in ancient texts, we begin to perceive a profound continuity in human thought. Across continents and millennia, similar themes emerge. The pursuit of knowledge, the search for harmony with nature and the cosmos, the cultivation of self-awareness, and the understanding of cycles and patterns in life. Despite differences in language, culture, and geography, these recurring motifs suggest that humans have always sought not only to survive, but to comprehend, to transcend, and to align with the greater order of existence. In this realization, the texts are less isolated artifacts and more part of a living, global conversation, a conversation that reaches us through time and invites participation, even in our modern era. The value of these texts lies not merely in the answers they provide, but in the questions they inspire. They challenge us to expand our understanding, to look beyond surface appearances, and to embrace a deeper curiosity about reality. Reading them is not a passive act. It is a meditative exploration, an engagement with thought, symbolism, and insight that requires patience, reflection, and an openness to mystery. In this engagement, we connect not only with the knowledge of the past, but with the enduring human impulse to seek, to question, and to uncover truths that may forever lie just beyond the horizon of comprehension. Ultimately, mystical wisdom hidden in ancient texts reminds us that history is not only a story of events, but a story of ideas, perception, and consciousness. These writings invite us to step quietly into their world, to listen to the echoes of insight preserved through centuries, and to engage with knowledge that transcends the purely practical. They offer a bridge between the material and the intangible, between the ordinary and the extraordinary, and between what humans have discovered and what remains to be revealed. By approaching them with patience and contemplation, we enter a space where curiosity thrives, understanding deepens, and the mysteries of the past gently illuminate the present. In the midst of the many ancient artifacts that have crossed time's shadowed path, few objects spark as much fascination and skepticism as the crystal skulls. These translucent, eerily detailed human skulls carved from solid quartz have captivated explorers, archaeologists, and mystics alike for over a century. But what exactly are they? Are they relics of a lost civilization with knowledge far beyond our own? Or are they simply sophisticated fakes created in more recent times? The story of the crystal skulls begins with a sense of mystery as thick as the fog that surrounds these enigmatic objects. The first known crystal skulls surfaced in the late 19th century, found in distant parts of Central America. The skulls themselves were astonishing in their craftsmanship. The detailing in the bone structure, down to the finest features like the nose, cheekbones, and teeth, was so precise that it seemed almost impossible to have been created with the rudimentary tools available to ancient peoples. The most famous of these skulls, often referred to as the Mitchell-Hedges skull, was allegedly found in the 1920s by Anna Mitchell-Hedges in the ruins of the ancient Maya city of Lebanton in Belize. Its discovery, shrouded in ambiguity, only fueled the fire of speculation. At first glance, these skulls appear to be nothing more than elaborate works of art. Yet for those who study them closely, they embody something more, something that hints at knowledge long lost to history. The quality of the quartz used to carve these skulls is of exceptional clarity, sometimes with veins running through the crystalline structure, giving them a sense of ancient power. How could such craftsmanship have emerged from the distant past, where even the finest stone carving techniques were primitive compared to what we know today? Some believe the crystal skulls were carved by ancient Mesoamerican civilizations such as the Maya, Aztec, or Olmec, whose connection to the stars, time, and spiritual forces was profound. Could these skulls have been created as a representation of a divine or spiritual power, a connection between the earth and the cosmos? These theories suggest that the skulls might have been ceremonial objects, possibly used in rituals or held sacred as symbols of life, death, and the afterlife. According to some interpretations, the skulls were believed to hold mystical powers, powers to heal, to communicate with spirits, or even to offer a glimpse into the future. Their crystal-clear surfaces, reflecting light like a frozen moment in time, add an ethereal quality to this speculation. But as with most ancient mysteries, the darker side of the crystal skull story is equally intriguing. Some scholars have cast doubts on the authenticity of the skulls, claiming they are modern creations, possibly fabricated in the 19th or early 20th centuries. The materials used in these objects have been scrutinized, with several experts pointing out that the type of quartz found in some skulls is not consistent with the tools of ancient Mesoamerican cultures. In fact, certain techniques used to polish and carve the skulls are more akin to methods developed in the 19th century than to any pre-Columbian craftsmanship. One of the most compelling critiques comes from the fact that the skull's surfaces often exhibit signs of polishing that would have been impossible with ancient tools. For instance, the Mitchell-Hedges skull's incredible smoothness suggests a level of precision that some argue could only have been achieved using modern industrial equipment, tools unavailable to the Maya or Aztecs. Furthermore, studies have shown that the skulls were polished using diamond-based abrasives, a technology that did not exist in the ancient world. This leads some to conclude that the skulls may have been created by modern artisans in an attempt to sell them as genuine ancient relics. Despite these criticisms, a more esoteric and captivating theory persists, that the crystal skulls are not just objects of art or mere curiosities, but vessels of profound knowledge. This belief leans heavily on the mystical and spiritual symbolism associated with the crystal itself. Crystals throughout history have been seen as powerful conduits of energy, capable of absorbing, storing, and transmitting frequencies of light and sound. Could the skulls have been designed to harness or channel this energy, potentially tapping into the very forces that govern the universe? Some say that the skulls can act as tools for healing, capable of amplifying spiritual energy or enhancing the mind's potential. There are also stories, often passed down through the whispers of those who claim to have experienced them firsthand, that the skulls possess a unique and almost otherworldly power. Some people report feeling strange sensations, like a rush of energy or a sense of heightened awareness when near the skulls. Others claim to have witnessed paranormal occurrences surrounding these artifacts, suggesting that the crystal skulls may indeed hold a key to unlocking ancient secrets about consciousness, the nature of reality, and the very essence of existence itself. But there is yet another layer to this mystery, one that touches on the idea of prophecy. According to some, the crystal skulls are part of a much larger, global puzzle, a series of mystical artifacts scattered across the world, each holding a portion of a greater cosmic knowledge. There is a widespread belief, especially among New Age communities, that the skulls are part of a prophecy, foretelling a time in the future when humanity will experience a great spiritual awakening. According to this belief, when all the crystal skulls are united, they will unlock a hidden truth about our origins and our purpose on Earth. This prophecy, though steeped in mystical tradition, continues to capture the imagination of many. Could these skulls, with their flawless clarity and their intriguing designs, be relics from a time long forgotten? Or are they elaborate hoaxes crafted in an attempt to profit from the allure of ancient mystery? While mainstream science continues to dismiss many of the more mystical claims about the skulls, the questions surrounding them remain tantalizing. Are these artifacts remnants of a forgotten civilization with knowledge far beyond ours? Or are they part of an elaborate mythos created to spark wonder and speculation? In truth, the mystery of the crystal skulls may never be fully solved. The truth behind their origins may forever remain in the realms of speculation and intrigue, balancing on the fine line between fact and fantasy. But it is in this uncertainty, in this dance between the known and the unknown, that their true power lies. For as long as we gaze into the clear, reflective surfaces of these ancient, yet curiously modern, relics, we are reminded of the vast, untapped mysteries of our past, waiting to be uncovered. In the arid deserts of southern Peru, beneath the blistering sun and in the stillness of vast, empty plains, lie one of the most perplexing and mysterious creations of the ancient world, the Nazca Lines. These immense geoglyphs, etched into the Earth's surface, remain one of history's most intriguing puzzles, not only for their size and scale, but for the question of their purpose. They stretch across the desert, vast and silent, waiting to be understood. Yet, despite the countless theories, the true purpose of these lines remains just out of reach, as elusive as the winds that constantly sweep over them. The Nazca Lines cover an area of roughly 1,000 square kilometers, and within this vast expanse, over 800 straight lines, 300 geometric shapes, and more than 70 animal and plant figures, some as large as 1,200 feet long, can be found. From an aerial view, these figures come to life, transforming what appears to be an ordinary desert landscape into a grand canvas of ancient artistry. The figures include a monkey, a hummingbird, a spider, and a variety of other creatures, many of which are so massive that they can only be fully appreciated from the sky. The lines themselves vary in width, with the largest being several meters wide, all created by removing the reddish-brown iron oxide coating of the desert floor to reveal the lighter-colored earth beneath. What makes these drawings even more remarkable is that they were created over 2,000 years ago, around 500 BCE to 500 CE, by the Nazca people. The simplicity of the lines contrasts sharply with the complexity of their design, and their sheer size suggests a purpose far beyond mere decoration or artistic expression. But what could have driven an ancient culture to construct such enormous and intricate figures on the land? Why create art that could only be fully appreciated from high above, where no one could have possibly seen it while it was being made? One prevailing theory suggests that the Nazca Lines were created for religious or ceremonial purposes. In this view, the lines and figures are seen as part of ritualistic practices intended to honor the gods, particularly deities associated with fertility, water, and the natural world. The desert region where the lines are located is incredibly dry and arid, with little rainfall, and the people who live there would have been deeply concerned with the gods' favor, specifically in terms of rain, which was essential for their crops and survival. Some believe the lines might have been a form of divine communication, created to appease gods from the heavens and invoke their blessings in return for water, rain, and fertile soil. The lines could have served as an offering to the gods, a grand gesture of devotion meant to demonstrate the people's reverence and plea for divine intervention. In contrast to this theory, another explanation suggests that the lines were designed to be an astronomical calendar, an ancient tool to track the movement of the stars and the cycles of the seasons. This theory hinges on the incredible precision of the lines and their alignment with celestial events. The most famous of these alignments involves the way certain lines seem to correspond with the solstices and the rise and set of particular stars, like the sun at the summer solstice. The designs may have served as markers for ritual events or agricultural cycles, providing the Nazca people with a guide to the most auspicious times for planting crops, harvesting, or holding ceremonies. In both of these interpretations, there's an implicit belief that the Nazca people were highly in tune with the cosmos, and that their knowledge of the skies was not only advanced but integral to their survival and spiritual well-being. The sheer scale of the project suggests a deep cultural significance, a collective effort that must have required thousands of people over generations to design, plan, and execute. To create something that would only be seen in full by the gods, or perhaps the cosmos itself, speaks to a worldview that placed immense value on the unseen forces that governed both the physical and spiritual worlds. However, as much as these theories are intriguing, they are not without their critics. Some suggest that the lines are not celestial in nature, but may have served as pathways, or even as a form of ancient pilgrimage route. These paths could have been used for ritualistic walking or processions, where the figures themselves represented sacred symbols or the path to spiritual enlightenment. Others argue that the sheer scale of the lines makes it unlikely they were used in this manner, especially considering that many of the shapes, such as the hummingbird and the spider, are not ones that would easily lend themselves to ritualistic processions. Perhaps one of the most striking aspects of the Nazca Lines is the mystery surrounding their true purpose, and the question of why they were created with such precision and on such a grand scale. Some have suggested that the lines might be more than mere symbols, that they might be a kind of map or a cosmic message encoded in the earth. This leads to one of the more fantastical theories, one that leans heavily into the mysterious and the otherworldly, that the Nazca lines were created as a form of communication with extraterrestrial beings. This theory, while not widely accepted by mainstream scholars, has gained traction in popular culture, fueled by the increasing fascination with ancient astronaut theories. The idea is that the lines and their vast, complex designs were created as a signal to visitors from other worlds, perhaps as an offering or a way to show that the Nazca people understood the forces of the universe beyond their planet. According to this hypothesis, the Nazca people may have had contact with beings from the stars, and the lines are a way of communicating with them, sending signals that could only be fully appreciated from the sky. Some theorists even point to the geometric precision of the lines and the apparent alignment of certain figures with celestial bodies as evidence of knowledge that could only have been imparted by beings with advanced technology. As with many mysteries of ancient cultures, it's difficult to say with certainty what the Nazca lines truly represent. What is clear, however, is that they speak to a profound relationship between the people of the past and the natural world around them. The lines serve as a testament to the creativity, ingenuity, and spiritual devotion of the Nazca civilization, offering a window into their worldview and their understanding of the forces that shaped their lives. Whether they were intended to appease the gods, mark celestial events, or send a message to the stars, the Nazca lines remain one of the most enduring mysteries of the ancient world, an enigma that continues to inspire wonder and speculation. Despite the many theories, we may never know for certain what the Nazca lines were truly meant to represent. But perhaps that is part of their allure, their ability to spark imagination, to lead us to question the mysteries of the past, and to reflect on the possibility that ancient peoples understood the world in ways we may never fully comprehend. As we gaze upon these massive geoglyphs, etched into the earth as though by an invisible hand, we are reminded of the profound connection between humanity and the unknown. The Nazca lines are not just drawings in the desert. They are messages that still whisper to us, waiting for us to listen, to understand, and perhaps to unlock a deeper truth about ourselves and our place in the universe. As we journey through the mysteries of the ancient world, we find ourselves standing at the edge of a precipice, peering into a vast unknown. The artifacts, the symbols, the ruins, they all hint at something much greater than we can fully grasp. From the Great Pyramid of Giza to the Nazca lines, the crystal skulls to the secrets of Atlantis, each discovery opens new doors to questions that seem to lead to more questions. And in this labyrinth of ancient enigmas, the more we learn, the deeper the mystery becomes. For every breakthrough we make, there's always the sense that we are only scratching the surface of a much larger, more complex story, a story whose conclusion may never be fully revealed. What does it mean to uncover a lost secret of human history? How do we reconcile the amazing knowledge possessed by ancient civilizations with the gaps in our understanding? The unanswered questions echo through time, leaving us to wonder, what did the ancients know that we have yet to discover? Are these secrets hidden beneath the earth, waiting to be unearthed? Or have they been lost forever, their knowledge erased by time, catastrophe, or deliberate action? This section invites us to pause, to reflect on the vastness of what remains unknown. It urges us to consider that what we believe to be true about our past may only be part of the picture, perhaps even a distorted fragment of a larger, forgotten truth. For centuries, historians, archaeologists, and researchers have been on a quest to fill in the blanks of human history. Yet with every ancient mystery we uncover, we are reminded that there is so much more beyond the limits of our current understanding. The more we learn, the more we realize that history is not a straight line, but a maze of intertwined truths and myths, each one pointing us towards something greater. The mysteries surrounding the ancient world speak to something deeper within us. They remind us that there is still so much we do not know about the ancient civilizations that came before us, about the wisdom they may have possessed, and about the possibility that they understood the world in ways we are only beginning to comprehend. And it is this sense of mystery, this tantalizing glimpse into the unknown, that continues to drive our curiosity and our desire to search for the lost secrets of human history. The Great Pyramid of Giza, with its precise alignment to the stars and its construction using blocks of stone that weigh as much as a small car. How was it built with such precision without modern machinery? The ancient Egyptians knew something about mathematics, engineering, and the natural world that still eludes us today. Yet, despite centuries of study, many questions remain. How did they possess such knowledge? Did they have access to ancient wisdom that has since been lost? Or was there an even greater power at play? Perhaps a lost civilization that predates the Egyptians, whose wisdom was passed down over millennia. And what are the Nazca lines? These colossal geoglyphs etched into the Peruvian desert still provoke debate. Were they created as part of an elaborate religious or astronomical system? Or were they perhaps a way to communicate with the gods or with extraterrestrial beings, as some theories suggest? The sheer scale and complexity of the lines make it hard to believe that they were merely the product of a primitive culture. What do the people of Nazca understand about the cosmos and the world around them that we are only now beginning to grasp? As we reflect on these mysteries, we are faced with an unsettling thought. What if some of these secrets are simply beyond our ability to comprehend? What if the knowledge that ancient civilizations possessed was so profound, so far ahead of its time, that it is not merely lost, but beyond our reach entirely? Perhaps we are not meant to understand everything. Perhaps these secrets are hidden because they require a way of thinking, a framework of understanding that we have not yet developed. There is also the possibility that much of our history has been intentionally obscured, buried by time, or erased by forces beyond our control. The idea that ancient knowledge has been deliberately suppressed is not a new one. Many ancient texts, scrolls, and libraries have been destroyed or lost to history, most famously the Library of Alexandria. This repository of knowledge, once the greatest of its kind, held countless works from philosophers, scientists, and thinkers of the ancient world. Yet, its destruction, whether by fire, war, or neglect, has left us with a hole in our historical narrative. What could we have learned from the writings it contained? What insights have we lost forever? The loss of the library is a symbol of the fragility of human knowledge and the way in which it can be erased or forgotten, often without warning. Even today, new discoveries are constantly reshaping our understanding of history, yet many still remain in the shadows, waiting to be uncovered. The continued excavation of ancient sites, the analysis of artifacts, and the application of modern technology to ancient ruins all promise to yield new insights. Yet even as we uncover more, there is always the sense that something vital is being overlooked or that something deeper lies just beyond our understanding. The hidden knowledge that could reshape our view of history may still be buried, waiting for the right moment, the right discovery to come to light. For every piece of history that is rediscovered, there are countless others that remain locked away in the sands of time. The world is full of places where the past is waiting to reveal itself, from forgotten ruins deep in the jungle to unexplored caves beneath the earth. What knowledge lies in these untouched corners of the world? And how will we ever unlock it if we do not continue to ask questions and search for answers? As we stand at the threshold of these ancient mysteries, we are confronted by the reality that many of our questions may never have answers. The truth is that the past is far more elusive than we might wish. The more we seek to understand, the more we realize how little we actually know. Yet it is this very uncertainty, this sense of the unknown, that keeps the flame of curiosity burning. It is this mystery that fuels our desire to continue exploring, to continue asking, to continue searching for those lost secrets that might one day change everything. We may never uncover all the answers to the questions we ask. Some mysteries may remain forever hidden. But in our search for these ancient secrets, we are reminded of the boundless potential of human curiosity and the enduring desire to know, to understand, not just our own history, but the very forces that shape the world we live in today. As we reflect on the gaps in our historical understanding, we are reminded that the journey is as important as the destination. It is not just the answers we seek, but the process of asking, of exploring, of uncovering the layers of history that have been lost to time. In this pursuit, we begin to understand not only the mysteries of the ancient world, but also the mysteries within ourselves. Our own capacity for wonder, our insatiable curiosity, and our eternal quest for knowledge. And so, as the search for these lost secrets continues, we are left with one final question. Will we ever truly unlock the full story of human history, or will it remain forever hidden in the folds of time, waiting for the right moment to reveal itself? Only time will tell. But for now, the questions remain and the journey continues. As we venture further into the unexplored realms of human history, we find ourselves at an intriguing crossroads, where modern technology meets ancient mystery. The discoveries of the past few decades have shown us just how much remains hidden beneath the surface, waiting to be uncovered. But what about the future? What will the next generation of explorers, archaeologists, and historians unearth in the coming years? The potential for new discoveries is limitless, and as our understanding of the world around us continues to evolve, so too does the scope of what we might uncover. The story of ancient history is far from finished. It is still being written, chapter by chapter, through the excavation of forgotten ruins, the decoding of ancient texts, and the application of cutting-edge technology to the exploration of long-lost sites. Every year, new breakthroughs push the boundaries of what we thought we knew about the past. In some ways, it feels as though the mysteries we explore today are only the beginning, merely a glimpse into a much larger narrative that is yet to unfold. One of the most exciting areas of potential is the intersection between archaeology and modern technology. In recent years, scientists have developed a variety of tools that have revolutionized the way we uncover ancient secrets. LiDAR, light detection and ranging, for example, has allowed archaeologists to see beneath dense jungle canopies or layers of earth. With LiDAR, researchers can create detailed 3D maps of ancient cities and landscapes, revealing structures and roadways that were previously invisible. This technology has already yielded stunning results. In places like the jungles of Central America, LiDAR scans have revealed entire cities, lost for centuries to the overgrowth of nature, offering an unprecedented look into ancient civilizations like the Maya, who once ruled vast empires. The discovery of these hidden cities changes everything we thought we knew about these civilizations. They weren't simply scattered villages connected by narrow trails, as once thought. Instead, they were intricate, well-planned metropolises with complex urban designs, transportation networks, and advanced systems of water management. With each new discovery, we are forced to reconsider the capabilities of the ancient people who lived in these regions, reshaping our understanding of their technological prowess and their impact on the environment. But LiDAR is just the beginning. The rise of other advanced technologies, such as ground-penetrating radar, drone mapping, and even artificial intelligence, promises to open even more doors. Ground-penetrating radar, for instance, can detect structures buried deep beneath the Earth's surface without the need for excavation. This method is already being used in places like Egypt, where researchers have been scanning the pyramids for hidden chambers and secret rooms that might have been lost over time. These non-invasive technologies allow us to peel back the layers of history in ways that were once impossible, revealing hidden knowledge without disturbing the ancient sites themselves. What lies beneath these sites is the great unknown. What have we missed in our past? The ancient Egyptians built their pyramids with a precision that modern engineers still struggle to replicate. The Maya created a vast network of cities connected by causeways, and their understanding of astronomy was so sophisticated that they built observatories to track the movements of the stars. The Inca mastered the art of engineering and agriculture, building terraces and irrigation systems that enabled them to thrive in the harsh Andean mountains. And yet, so much of their knowledge remains hidden, either lost to time or erased by the ravages of conquest, war, and natural disasters. The question now is, how much of this hidden knowledge will we uncover? Will the next breakthrough, discovery, unlock the mysteries of the past? Or will we find that some secrets are too well concealed, forever buried beneath the weight of time? The prospect of future discoveries is both exciting and humbling. We may uncover ancient technologies that were far more advanced than we ever imagined, or we may stumble upon artifacts that challenge our very understanding of history itself. With each new discovery, we rewrite the story of humanity, moving one step closer to uncovering the full picture of who we were, and perhaps who we might become. But while technology is enabling us to peer into the past in ways that were once inconceivable, it is also important to recognize the limits of what we can know. The ancient world is full of gaps, places where history has been lost, erased, or forgotten. There are countless lost civilizations, empires that thrived and disappeared without a trace, their knowledge wiped away by time or catastrophe. Even as we uncover new wonders, we must confront the reality that many secrets will likely remain forever elusive. The ruins of Atlantis, for example, are a mythical symbol of a civilization lost to the ocean's depths. Yet despite centuries of speculation, no definitive evidence of its existence has ever been found. In many ways, the pursuit of ancient knowledge is an endless journey toward discovery, where we may never reach a final destination. Some of the most tantalizing mysteries may lie in places that are difficult to reach or too dangerous to explore. There are areas deep within the Amazon rainforest, for instance, where ancient civilizations may have once flourished, leaving behind artifacts, cities, and even entire societies that have been swallowed by the dense foliage. Yet many of these places remain off-limits due to environmental concerns, political instability, or the sheer difficulty of accessing them. Could the ancient knowledge we seek be hidden in these far-off corners of the world? And if so, will we ever have the means to uncover it? The promise of new technologies like drones, deep-sea exploration, and satellite imagery holds hope for uncovering these hidden realms, but the path is far from clear. Beyond technology, there's another layer to this pursuit, the human spirit of curiosity and exploration. It is this intrinsic drive, this deep-seated desire to know, that fuels our quest to uncover ancient secrets. For as much as we rely on tools and technology, it is our shared yearning for knowledge, for understanding, that continues to push us forward. Whether driven by scientific curiosity, spiritual longing, or a simple desire to connect with our ancestors, this quest will continue to inspire future generations. It is this curiosity that led early explorers to the lost cities of the Maya and Inca, and it will be this same curiosity that propels the explorers of tomorrow into the depths of the unknown, searching for clues to humanity's ancient past. As we look to the future, the question remains, how much more of our forgotten history will we uncover? Will we discover knowledge that challenges everything we think we know? Or will some mysteries remain forever beyond our reach? Perhaps the greatest secret of all lies not in the discoveries we make, but in the questions we continue to ask, the mysteries we are willing to embrace, and the stories we are yet to tell. In the end, the journey of uncovering ancient secrets is not just about finding answers. It is about exploring the unknown, embracing the mysteries that have shaped our world, and acknowledging that even in our most advanced technological age, there will always be something just out of reach, a hidden piece of history waiting to be discovered. The future of ancient discoveries is limitless. What lies beneath the surface of time is an untold story, still unfolding before our eyes. And as we continue to ask the questions, to explore the mysteries, we bring ourselves ever closer to the heart of humanity's past, and perhaps to understanding the true depth of the ancient secrets that have shaped us all. The idea of lost civilizations has always fascinated humanity. In the quiet corners of the world, beneath layers of dirt, time, and history, lie the remnants of cultures that once thrived, cultures whose stories have been swallowed by time, yet whose echoes continue to ripple through the present. Whether in the jungles of Central America, the deserts of Egypt, or the depths of the ocean, these forgotten empires and societies challenge our understanding of what was possible in the ancient world. What drove these civilizations to build such grand cities, to explore far-flung corners of the earth, and to master technologies that still elude us today? Each discovery of a lost civilization is like opening a door to a past we never knew existed, a past that seems to stretch the limits of our imagination. The very concept of lost implies something hidden, a secret waiting to be unlocked, an unsolved riddle whose answer could dramatically change the way we view human history. These civilizations were not primitive, far from it. Many of them displayed advanced knowledge of mathematics, engineering, astronomy, and agriculture, skills that allowed them to flourish in some of the most inhospitable environments on Earth. Yet, despite their achievements, these cultures vanished, leaving behind only traces of their once great legacies. One of the most compelling examples of a lost civilization is the ancient Maya. Once a vast and sophisticated empire, the Maya left behind towering pyramids, intricate calendars, and a deep understanding of the stars and time. Their cities, such as Tikal and Copan, were marvels of architectural design and urban planning. Yet, for reasons that remain unclear, the Maya civilization collapsed, their cities abandoned, and their culture all but forgotten by the time the Spanish arrived in the 16th century. What caused the fall of the Maya? Was it war, environmental collapse, or internal strife? Some scholars believe that their intricate systems of agriculture, which allowed them to thrive in the jungles of Central America, were unsustainable in the long run. Others suggest that the Maya were victims of their own success, overpopulation, and the resulting depletion of resources leading to their downfall. The mystery of the Maya is but one example of a lost civilization that challenges our historical narrative. But what if the Maya were not the only advanced culture to rise and fall in the ancient world? What if there were even older, more enigmatic civilizations whose traces have yet to be discovered, buried beneath the sands of time or swallowed by the ocean? The idea of such ancient, advanced cultures is not new. In fact, it's one of the most enduring mysteries of the human past. Cultures that predates what we consider the dawn of civilization, whose knowledge was so great that it still influences us today, yet whose stories are largely lost to history. In the 19th and early 20th centuries, explorers and adventurers searched the globe for evidence of these lost civilizations. From the stories of the fabled Atlantis to the lost city of El Dorado, there's always been an allure to the idea that a far greater, more advanced civilization once existed, one that possessed knowledge and wisdom that has been hidden or forgotten. Some believe that ancient cultures, like the Egyptians, the Sumerians, or the Hindus, may have inherited knowledge from even older, lost civilizations that came before them. If so, where did these civilizations come from? What did they know, and why did they disappear? Were they wiped out by catastrophe, or did they choose to leave, abandoning their great achievements to be swallowed by time? Some of the most intriguing clues that suggest the existence of ancient, forgotten civilizations come from the world's most mysterious and unexplained archaeological sites. The megalithic structures of Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, for example, are far older than any known civilization, predating even the Sumerians. The complexity and scale of this site challenged the very idea of human development, suggesting that early humans may have possessed knowledge and skills we can hardly comprehend. The fact that these massive stone pillars, weighing tons, were placed with such precision more than 12,000 years ago calls into question everything we thought we knew about the early stages of human history. Then there are the pyramids of Giza, which stand as a silent testament to an advanced civilization that mastered the art of construction, astronomy, and mathematics. The Great Pyramid of Giza, with its perfect alignment to the cardinal directions and the stars, has long been a source of fascination and debate. Despite centuries of study, many questions remain. How did the ancient Egyptians manage to build such an enormous structure with such precision? What knowledge did they possess that allowed them to construct something so seemingly impossible for their time? Some theorists suggest that the Egyptians were the inheritors of a much older, lost civilization, one that had access to advanced knowledge far beyond what was available to the ancient world. Another compelling mystery is that of the Nazca lines. These giant geoglyphs, etched into the desert in Peru, are too large and intricate to have been created by people without advanced knowledge of geometry, engineering, and even astronomy. Some have suggested that the Nazca were not simply expressing artistic or religious ideas through these designs, but were instead communicating with a higher power, perhaps even extraterrestrial beings. Could it be that the Nazca were the descendants of a much older civilization, one that understood the forces of nature in ways that we have only recently begun to grasp? If such lost civilizations existed, what would they have been like? Would they have left behind records of their accomplishments, written texts, or artifacts that could provide a window into their world? Or would they have left only fragments, art, architecture, and tools that hint at the scope of their achievements without revealing the full story? The idea that such cultures might have existed is tantalizing, and the more we uncover, the more questions we are left with. What knowledge did these lost civilizations possess? What truths did they understand about the universe, about nature, and about life itself? And, perhaps most intriguingly, why did they disappear? Were they wiped out by cataclysmic events, such as earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, or floods? Or did they simply vanish, leaving no trace behind? The question of why these civilizations disappeared is as mysterious as their existence. Some scholars point to natural disasters, climate change, or environmental collapse as possible causes. Others suggest that internal strife, war, or the exhaustion of resources may have led to their downfall. Yet, despite our best efforts to understand the causes of their collapse, the truth remains elusive. Perhaps the answers lie buried in the ruins of their cities, waiting to be uncovered by future explorers. Ultimately, the story of lost civilizations is one that is still unfolding. With each new discovery, we move closer to understanding the past in all its complexity. Yet with every mystery we uncover, we are reminded that there is still so much we do not know. As we continue to search for the lost civilizations of the past, we also search for the answers to the questions that have been left unanswered for millennia. What can we learn from the rise and fall of these ancient cultures? What secrets do they hold? And how can we apply this knowledge to our own world? For now, the mysteries of lost civilizations remain, fragments of history that challenge our understanding of the past, yet beckon us forward, urging us to continue the search for knowledge. Whether these civilizations are remembered in the ruins they left behind or hidden beneath the earth, one thing is certain. Their echoes continue to resonate across time, reminding us that the past is not as far behind as we might think. It is waiting just beneath the surface, ready to be rediscovered. As we reflect on the vast mysteries of ancient history, we begin to realize that the search for lost secrets is not just about uncovering facts or solving puzzles. It is about something deeper, the search for meaning, for understanding, and for connection. These ancient civilizations, with their towering pyramids, their intricately designed cities, their advanced technologies, and their profound knowledge of the cosmos, were more than just distant cultures. They were a part of the human story, a story that stretches across time, binding us together in ways we may not fully comprehend. In our quest to understand the past, we are also seeking something within ourselves. We look to the ancient world to understand the origins of our own curiosity, our drive for knowledge, and our search for purpose. The secrets of the past are not just relics to be uncovered. They are keys that unlock something within us, something that connects us to those who lived long before us. We're not so different from the people who built the Great Pyramid or the Maya who carved their cities into the jungle. In many ways, we are still driven by the same questions they asked about the nature of the universe, the meaning of life, and our place in the grand scheme of things. When we look at the great monuments and artifacts left behind by these ancient civilizations, we are not just seeing the remnants of a lost world. We are encountering the echoes of human aspirations, human wonder, and human resilience. The people who built these monuments didn't know that their creations would endure for thousands of years. Yet they left them behind with the hope that they would one day be understood, appreciated, and remembered. They did not leave their secrets for us to find by accident. These ancient peoples built their monuments to endure, to pass down their knowledge, and perhaps, in some mysterious way, to challenge the future to uncover their secrets. What is it about these mysteries that continues to capture our imagination, even in the modern world? Why do we continue to search for answers to questions that seem so distant, so removed from our daily lives? Perhaps it is because, deep down, we understand that these questions are not just about the past. They are about the future. They are about the future of humanity, our future understanding of the world, and our place within it. By studying the great achievements of ancient civilizations, we are also studying ourselves. We're trying to understand how far we have come and how much further we have yet to go. The study of ancient history is often seen as an academic pursuit, something confined to dusty books and archaeological digs. Yet, in truth, it is a journey that speaks to all of us. It speaks to our innate desire to know more, to understand our origins, and to explore the unknown. When we look at the pyramids of Giza or the stone ruins of Machu Picchu, we are not just admiring the skill and ingenuity of ancient builders. We are looking at a reflection of our own drive to push the boundaries of what is possible. These ancient monuments were built by people who dared to dream, who sought to connect with something greater than themselves, and who left behind their knowledge and wisdom for future generations to discover. Perhaps the most profound question raised by the search for ancient secrets is not what these civilizations knew, but what we, as a modern society, have forgotten. In our pursuit of progress and innovation, we have often turned away from the ancient wisdom that once guided human societies. We have become so focused on the present moment, on the technology and advancements that define our modern lives, that we have lost touch with the ancient knowledge that shaped the world we live in. The pyramids, the stone circles, the sacred texts, they are all reminders of a time when humanity sought meaning in a way that transcended the mundane. Yet, even as we move forward into the future, there's a longing to reconnect with the past, to rediscover that which was lost and forgotten. In a world that is increasingly fast-paced and disconnected, the ancient world offers us a sense of rootedness, a reminder that we are part of something much larger than ourselves. The knowledge we seek is not just buried in ancient ruins. It is also within us, waiting to be rediscovered. The ancient civilizations that built the great monuments and left behind their secrets did so with a sense of purpose and a belief that their wisdom would endure. They created works of art, architecture, and science that transcend time, speaking to us across the centuries in a way that no written text could ever do. As we move forward in our own quest for knowledge, we must also look back. We must ask ourselves, what can we learn from the ancient world? What lessons can we take from the successes and failures of past civilizations? And perhaps most importantly, how can we apply that knowledge to our own lives, to our own societies, and to the challenges we face today? The search for ancient secrets is not just an academic exercise. It is a reflection of the human spirit, the spirit of exploration, of curiosity, and of the unending desire to understand the world around us. It is a reminder that the past is not as distant as we might think. It is woven into the very fabric of our present, influencing the decisions we make, the technologies we create, and the way we view ourselves and our place in the universe. The ancient world is not something to be left behind. It is something to be embraced, studied, and cherished, for in its mysteries lie the answers to some of the most profound questions we can ask. In the search for meaning, we are not just uncovering the secrets of ancient civilizations. We are uncovering the mysteries of our own existence. The knowledge that these ancient peoples possessed was not meant to be kept in the past. It was meant to inspire, to challenge, and to guide us. And as we continue to uncover the lost secrets of human history, we are reminded that the journey is as important as the destination. In the end, it is the search itself that brings us closer to understanding the world and ourselves. So, as we stand on the edge of these ancient mysteries, we are invited to ask, what can the past teach us? How can we learn from those who came before us? And what lessons can we apply to the future? The search for lost knowledge is not just a journey through time. It is a journey toward a deeper understanding of who we are and where we might be headed. For in the exploration of the past, we often find the keys to our future. As we reach the end of this journey through ancient history, we are reminded that the search for lost secrets is not a race to uncover every answer, but rather an ongoing, eternal quest for understanding. The mysteries we have explored, pyramids that rise to the heavens, cities buried under sand and time, technologies ahead of their era, are not just remnants of the past. They are reflections of a timeless human drive, the pursuit of knowledge. Throughout this exploration, we've witnessed how civilizations long gone left behind traces of their wisdom, their wonders, and their questions. These ancient peoples, driven by the same curiosity that moves us today, sought to understand the world around them, to chart the stars, to build the impossible. In their monuments, their art, and their innovations, we still find echoes of our own ambitions and desires. Their search for meaning transcended time, connecting us to them in profound ways. Yet, the more we uncover, the more we realize that history is not a finished story. It is a living, breathing conversation, one that will never truly end. New technologies, new methods of exploration, and new perspectives are constantly rewriting our understanding of the past. In a way, the secrets of these lost civilizations will never be fully revealed, because every answer uncovers new questions. It is this eternal cycle of discovery that keeps us moving forward, that keeps our curiosity alive, and that keeps history alive. In the final moments of this exploration, we are left with a powerful thought. The quest for lost knowledge is more than just about uncovering ancient secrets. It is about understanding our shared humanity. As we have seen, the ancient civilizations we've explored were driven by the same curiosity that drives us today. They sought to answer the big questions about life, the universe, and the nature of existence. And in many ways, we are still asking the same questions. Each discovery we make, whether it's a new artifact, a lost city, or an ancient text, is a step forward in this endless journey of understanding. But with each new discovery, we are also reminded that we are part of a much larger story, one that spans millennia. The past is not just a collection of events. It is a continuous narrative that ties us to those who came before us and to those who will come after us. Our discoveries today will become the history of tomorrow. As we close this chapter, we carry with us not only the knowledge of ancient peoples, but the knowledge that our own journey has just begun. The mysteries of the past may be ancient, but the quest to understand them is as relevant today as it ever was. The search will continue, just as it always has, because it is the very pursuit of knowledge, the desire to understand the unknown, that defines us as humans.